What's up? Just if you jump in the house right now, I'm on my way to Osaka to meet up with one of my YouTube friends from France. He came down, so he's on his way back. We were supposed to meet last week, but Wi-Fi problems and stuff, so we're gonna meet tonight. But anyway, I want to continue with some of my Nagoya stories. One time I went to the beach. My two children came to Japan during the summer to visit me. And I don't know, it's weird because the mother, she wasn't upset or anything, you know. I think I actually went out there and got them and brought them back. I'm not sure how they came, or I'm not sure how they went back. I'm not sure. I don't remember. They could have went back by themselves, but I'm not sure. But anyway, we were at the beach, in Utsumi Beach. And during the summer, a lot of people from all over Japan go there, you know. So we're just walking around, you know, and I'm selling jewelry and stuff, and playing with them. And so I think we went there like almost every day for the summer. So one day we're sitting there, and of course in America everybody likes rice with soy sauce, right? So my kid's sitting there with rice and soy sauce, and this one Japanese man saw us. Then he disappeared, and he came back a few minutes later, or maybe 30 minutes later, whatever, with this big watermelon that was wrapped, you know, with a ribbon on it and stuff, you know. And I was like, okay. He said, here, this is for you. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Well, he didn't say it was for me, he said for my kids. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And you guys have to understand, go do it, the pH and all that. Watermelon is probably the highest food, I think, with pH. I think it's 9 point something, and it's very nutritious for you. So back in the past, when white people, or even now when they talk about blacks and watermelons and all that stuff, where you can tell them is, you know, tell them the data, tell them it's the facts, you know, it's good, you know, because it's full of pH vibrations and all of that stuff. And it's, you know, it's very good to eat. So, but anyway, so, and plus I didn't know anything about the watermelon jokes anyway till that Bolt, you know, and then when somebody told me, I was like, huh, and I had to actually ask someone, and they told me that, but I still don't understand. Okay, whatever. Everybody eats watermelon, right? And Japanese people out here eat watermelon like crazy. And watermelon out here can go up to like $100. You know, it just depends on, you know, who you're buying it from and stuff like that. But anyway, so he gave us the watermelon. He said, "What are you kids eating? What is that?" And I said, "That's rice with soy sauce." And he snatched the plate bowls from me. He said, "No. You cannot do that in Japan. That's an insult, you know, to our culture. You can't do that. When you eat rice, you eat it white, or, you know, the sprinkle stuff they put in it, all that shit. You do not put soy sauce on rice because it's a sign of being poor. You don't do that." And I'm like, "What we doing in America?" He said, "Well, this is Japan." And I was like, okay. You know, and it was funny because when I went back to LA and stuff, and even when I was in LA, you know, my Asian friends, especially ones that were Japanese stuff, everybody puts soy sauce on rice, you know. So I was like, all right, fine, you know. And so we sat and talked, and he spoke a little English. So he was like very one of the few people that I met in Japan who spoke English but wasn't really fluent, but his English was good enough. And so he was like, okay, well, you know, I'm rich and this, and like all these businesses, you know, before the bubble in Singapore and Philippines and hotels and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay. And so he gave me his number, took my number. He said when, because I told him I was living in Nagoya, and actually we live like within 30 minutes of each other. And so he was like, okay, then, well, I got to get over. And he was like, okay, so after this summer, because I told him I was busy during the summer, he called me, and I was surprised he called me because I wasn't expecting him to call. And so we met up, and he, for some reason, took me over to his house, his apartment, and it was really nice. The whole fifth floor was his apartment. He had a girlfriend. He had a 600 Benz. His girlfriend had a BMW, because usually the women, they drive with the 300 series or the 500 series BMWs. But back then, I think most of them drove the 300, but I'm not sure. It just depends on how much money he had, I guess, or how much of her own money she had. He showed me his room, his Japanese room, showed me his bedroom, this and that. And so I'm thinking, like, okay, you know, why is he showing me all this stuff? You know, and I wasn't thinking about he was like on any homosexual thing or anything like that when he showed me his room. But I was like, okay. And then the next thing you know, he started telling me his other businesses that were like modeling. Whoa, that car behind me is coming up fast. Whoa! And the car behind him. Whoa! They cruising. But anyway, so he was telling me about his business. So he showed me these this magazine. It was like full of cute girls, and they were they were I guess modeling and stuff in there. And I don't know if you can call them or date one or whatever. But he was like, that's what he does. He does that too, because he said once the bubble popped, like he had to close a lot of his businesses in the other countries because of I guess it wasn't profitable or something because of inflation, I guess. And so I was like, okay, fine, he's showing me all this, and I'm just thinking like, okay, what is the point of all this, right? So then he asked me if I wanted to work with him. And I was like, not really, I can't, because I have a business. He said, well, what are you doing? I told him, so Julie. He said, yeah, but you're not making a lot of money with that. And I'm saying, yes, I am. He said, how much? I was like, $30,000 a month, And he was like, you making that much? I was like, yeah. He was like, I don't believe it. I said, yeah, it's really easy. And I kind of explained it to him. And he was like, wow, okay. He said, well, I know you're not doing it 24 hours. Why don't you come work with me? And I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? So he had me out in Toyota City, me and this other guy that was working for him. And the guy wasn't a Yakuza or anything like that. I'm sure he had friends that was in it. He told me he wasn't, so I believed him. And but I was still a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because actually, when I was in Osaka, I met a lot of those guys, and they were cool to me. Especially when I was in Utsumi. I met a whole bunch of them and stuff, and the guys that were actually running things and stuff and doing deliveries and stuff. And I'm not saying anything bad. Just taking cargo here, there, whatever was in the box. But there were small boxes. I don't know what was in it, but I didn't care. It wasn't my business. And so he had this one bar out there where guys can go and talk and stuff, and doing other different kinds of bars. So I'm out there, I'm like, cool, whatever, So I go out there with one of his workers, and he would pick me up at my house in one of those big old vans they have, I guess. So I went out to Tokyo City, and we was going street to street, passing out flyers and stuff, and in apartments and stuff. And it was, it was interesting because I like to walk through residential areas and stuff just to see what people look like, and the people in those areas look like, and what the houses look like, and basically the architect and the nature and stuff. And so I was like, okay, cool. Then we went to Toyota Station, and I was like, okay, so I'm passing out these flyers, and I don't know how many it was, but I'm sure I probably gave out at least 500 flyers. And when I finished, I went back to the other guy, and I said, "You some more flyers." He said, "What happened to what you had?" And I said, "I passed them out." And he said, "How can you pass them out that fast?" And I said, "Because I'm a black guy, and I'm a foreigner, and I'm tall and handsome, and when I hand it to people, I stand in front of them, and because it's only to the guys, and they take them." And that was it. And he was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I'm like, but I didn't stand in front of them to stop their way or anything. But I say, "Hey," like if I'm talking to, "Hey," they just take it and stuff, right? And then one time, I was passing and some girls came up, Japanese girls, and maybe a foreign woman came up. I don't know if she was a sister or not. But she was like, "What are those?" I'm like, "Oh, well, these are for men, And they said, "Well, we want some too." I'm like, "No." They said, "Well, we can go there too." I'm like, "All right." So I gave them some, and they looked, and they started laughing and stuff. We talked for a little bit. But but what happened was blah 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 blah. So I'm passing out the flyers and everything, and the dude just automatically gives me a raise. I don't know how much I had, but he just gave me $10 an hour and stuff. And I was like, cool, I didn't care. I could have did it for free because like I said, I had my own money. But when he found out, man, when the other guy found out, he was ticked. He was like, "Why did you get him $10 and I'll just pass out flyers and blah blah blah," And I don't even know if I even collected any of the money I made. I'm sure I did. I don't remember though. But anyway, so they had this one lady working for them, and she was from Colombia. She was so fine, and we would go pick her up, you know, and I didn't really say anything. Like I said, I'm just trying to be low profile, out of the picture as much as I can, you know. And we were in there talking. Of course, she spoke Spanish and she spoke English too, and she was so fun. Nice body, nice big mammary glands. I was like, wow. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we were talking and stuff. She was talking about, you know, her kids and the back at home, and you know, she's out here making money and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I want to date her, you know. But you know, nothing couldn't happen. And then one time, what happened was I had walked into one of the bars, and I didn't know what kind of bar it was. You know, they didn't tell me. I didn't ask. I'm telling you, that was like within my first 2 years there, and I was just dumb. I'm telling you, I was just dumb of everything that was going on. But you know, I had a good time. I didn't think about Japanese people being racist towards black people. I never thought that. You know, I never thought anybody was racist against black people. You know, because they're not racist against me. So you know, but of course I learned the hard way. You know, rude awakening. But anyway, I walked in. I'm just sitting there. He's there, not the boss, but the other guy, the worker, other guy. And so I'm like sitting there, and all of a sudden, these two heads popped off from behind this couch thing, and it was her and some Japanese guy. And I was like, okay, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should go. And the Japanese guy, hey, I remember you. And I was like, okay, now what did I do now? He said, no, you're the guy who handed me this flyer. That's why I came. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Are you know, you enjoying yourself? Stupid question. He said, yeah, you know, thanks for telling me, blah, blah, blah. We talked for another, like, 5 minutes or so. And I'm like, well, let me get out of here, because I don't need to be in here, you know. So I left and stuff. And then, it was just interesting. That was really interesting. And then one time, he got this other, like, I guess they call them snack bars, where you go and talk to women and stuff, right? So we were in there, and to me, he was just like, I just looked at him as a friend. I was, like I told you, I was just stupid of the status and all of this stuff. So he was shorter than me, you know, so, and I wasn't fearing anything. Nobody threatened me or anything out here. So, you know, like, whatever. And so then one day we sitting at, I'm in there, and he called like these 3 girls coming over, and him and me. I think it was like 4 girls, me and him. We were all sitting, and one of the girls was like, I said, Nagoya, man, the women out there. When I was out there, they were fluent, so me and her just got to talking, and so I'm sitting next to him. He's talking to the girls, me and her talking, and we get to talking loud and laughing and stuff. Man, dude hit the table, boom! I was like, whoa, look. He was like, do you want to go to another table? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you're talking too loud. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, no, not just, you know, quiet down. And he looked at her, and of course she, you know, bowed her head, you know, and looked down. And for the rest of the time, I didn't say anything. You know, I was like, oh man, this shit is real. You know, shit just got real. You know, and after that, I was like, oh man. But I don't know what happened. Then one day, me and him was, he was driving around in his Benz. Of course, I was in the passenger seat. That said, no. He said, well, why don't you be my driver? I'm like, I don't need to be your driver. He said, why? I said, because, you know. He said, well, here you drive my Benz. And I'm like, you drive your own Benz. You know? And he looked at me like, nigga, this is Japan. Don't you know? You can get fucked up out here, you know? And so we went to some Yokanashi, I forgot what that place is called. Yoshinoya. And so we eating some beef ball, and I didn't want to eat that. I wanted to eat something else, because I guess he wanted me to eat what he was eating, but I don't eat beef. And he just looked at me. He said, you know, there's sometimes you're just going to have to do things that you don't want to do. And I was like, oh man, this dude is getting real on me, you know. But, you know, he's right though, you know, because in, you know, the real world situation, oh man, nice taxi. And things like that does get real. So I was like, okay, so I ate it and stuff, and then he was talking to me and stuff, and he said he wanted me to be his driver and this and that. And I'm like, where are we going? He said, I'm going all over Tokyo. I'm like, but what about the other guy? He said, I don't want him working with me, you know, driving with me. He got his own job and stuff. And I was like, wow. And I said, I really don't need to do it though, because, you know, I got my own business, you know, that I'm doing, and I would like to, but I don't know. I said, because I said, I don't know, because I'm, just like what happened the other day in the bar. I've messed around and slip, and because I don't know your guys' etiquettes and your respects and your morals and stuff, and I don't want to do anything. He said, man, don't worry about it. He said, you're just going to be the driver. You don't get paid. Don't worry about it. And, you just don't talk to anybody, and nobody's going to bother you. And I swear, I sat there for about a good 2 minutes, and I was really thinking about doing it, because the business was up to the point where we only worked 5 days in a week, and we went to Thailand for like 10 days, and then 5 days, come back, work 5 days, and the rest of the 15 days just nothing. So I told him that. He said, well, during those 15 days, you come and work with me. And I really was thinking about it. But then I got to thinking, man, if I said, I know what he's doing and stuff, and I get caught up in that stuff and end up having to get initiated or something like that, then, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if I want to take that route, because I don't really care, basically, because if I got into something like that, then whatever, because everybody does that. When you're in the hood, you got to be with the hood. If you're not going to be with the hood, then you're always going to be marked, and wherever neighborhood you're going to, house you're going to, country you're going to, you got to be down with somebody, some group, and you got to do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying like you can be in a neighborhood and you can be a bookworm and don't bang, don't do nothing, get talked about, but because of the knowledge that you're gaining, it's going to open up doors to maybe the high rollers, and what I mean, not like drug dealer high rollers, but like the people in the financial businesses, and maybe some CEOs and other people that are doing other things and have other knowledge and voice to making money or doing whatever. And because of that knowledge that you have, like I said in some other videos, the whole thing about reading dictionaries and upping your language is not because it's the white man's word or anything like that. It's an open door invitation to any conversation. If you are fluent in languages and your synonyms are on, you can go into a cafe and whatever, a bakery or a deli. Delis are really good to hang out at, and all of a sudden you just be there chilling and stuff, and two white guys come in, and they could be bankers or investors, millionaires, whatever, and start talking about investing and what they're going to put their money in because of things they heard or whatever. And if you understand the terminology right there, they telling you that, hey, we about to put $50,000 because we know in 2-3 weeks it's gonna we're gonna make maybe $1 million or whatever. I'm just exaggerating, but we're gonna make some money. And if you got that 50,000, they say everything, like whatever, you just call up, bam, you put your money in that too, So, but I'm not saying you can get into any other but there are some you can. Some they lock out, keep black people out, keep certain people out. They got their little secret clubs and stuff. But still, because you're gaining that knowledge, just because you get shunned out because of the cool homies and stuff, don't mean that whatever you're doing in your life, you're just automatically going to be attracted to a certain group of people where you're going to have to do things, you're going to have the rules and whatever, and the same thing as being married, you be at home, and then, or if you got a side dude or a side woman, that's a perfect thing. You could be married, love your wife, but if you got a side woman, she gonna control you more than your wife do, more than your wife does, so, or do it, whatever. But anyway, that's what I was kind of saying. So I just like, I don't know. And then I don't know how we stopped meeting or something like that. I think it was probably after the Yoshinoya conversation. We met a few times after that, and I don't know what happened, because then all of a sudden, I'm just catching the train down to do the work and everything, but it was cool because you get to meet a lot of women on the train and stuff. But I don't know how we started. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. No soy sauce on rice in Japan. It's a no.